Hey guys, welcome to the stream space, or welcome back, I should say. It is Padera with, well, you know who we are. I'm just trying to look at the time. What time is it, Mr. Wolf? It's, well, later than I thought it was, but still not that bad. Okay, so we're here to do a special one. I mean, everyone is special, technically. But this is away from our streaming content. This is not a Power Rangers thing. This is the Scavenger's lightsaber herself. Rey Skywalker's black and yellow lightsaber. I'm excited for this one. I was waiting for them to do an official release for this because, quite frankly, between hers and Leia's, those are my two favorite designs. I have liked what a lot of people have put out, a lot of the other companies, but my problem with this is they're not licensed, so it's really hard to justify paying for a custom from them and then have the official one release. The added benefit of of using CR sabers, Saber Zone, Ultra Sabers is they are dueling grades, so they are meant to be fought with. Where I'm not opening this one to be fought with. This would never be fought with. We have sabers for that. We have a guard saber. We have all of our customs from either Saber Zone or CR sabers or Ultra Sabers. They're built for fighting, so we'll use those for that. Anyways, without further ado, this video may be a little more on point and a little faster than other ones. We'll see how things go, of course. We have batteries, we have a screwdriver, and we have a cutting tool. I don't know why I'm staring at it like that. Okay. Now, this is one of my conquests from our good old Calgary Expo. Love Calgary Expo. It's always a good time to go and blow all your money. We are got a requirement of 3 AA, so we're all set for that. Let's pop this guy open. Now, I don't like these new packages that are like diagonal and shit. Quite frankly, it'd probably be very difficult to get this in there. And a lot of our sabers, even for transport, will not be going in them. Okay. That tape's been torn. Okay. Just gonna lay it down. Oh my goodness. Got chills, bro. Now, Elites are a little different from other lightsabers. Okay? A little different. They are meant. They have disconnecting blades, which you might think that's a common feature. It's actually not. Not for these guys. I promise we will get back where you can see me soon. We're not going to get into the manuals. I know how this guy works. So Okay. Just getting through all the strap ties that hold things down. Okay, saber came loose. Okay, we'll go over what we found in just a sec here. Damn, does it have some weight to it? She's chunky. Ah. Very cool. I give you one thing, like this one I think was kind of like my favorite because it's like a really rugged design. I'll come up there and show you guys in just a second, just tighten you up. Finish sealing up the box here. I mean, I will give these new boxes some credit though, because they seal up nicely. Actually, they are. They stay closed and they don't fight me when I'm trying to put them back together and crap. All right, we're open. We're ready for business, and let's get into it. Hi. Okay. Now. As I was mentioning, this is a Force Effects Elite Saber. So you can naturally remove the blade without too much fuckery. It's a, a twist and a pull. You want to be obviously careful so you don't disconnect any electronics while you're doing it. So, the Elites come with these stands, which I think actually look much more like a lightsaber maintenance stand or something. Like, they've got a really nice design to them. So, hers with no belt clip fits in like this. Right, so it just sits there nicely. Now Leia's has a belt loop, so you actually have to look at how you're setting it up, right? All right, so let's get into what we're here for. There's the saber. So as you know, end of Rise of Skywalker, she's at the grave site, or you want to call it grave site, but where Luke's aunt and uncle met their end. So the homestead where he was raised, and she buries the lightsabers of Luke and Leia and ignites this motherfucker. We see this lightsaber for a collective total of 5 seconds. So she finally got over her thing with lightsabers and learned how to use this one. Okay? So, this one's got an interesting design, because if you see here, you saw it in the show too, or in the movie, whatever, that you twist it until it powers. So it's a back and forth switch, like that, just like in the movie. Now, this top piece comes off, so you see how those are closed? Like in the movie, they open when she lights the lightsaber, so they're never just sitting idle. So you pop this open, slide just screws off. Okay, just set that right there into the camera. And then the battery compartment's down here. So you pop this off, nice little screw off, just like the other one. Yeah, screw off. Okay. Now, I've always preferred where they had a screw off bottom and the battery cartridge came out like this. So you can see none of the battery compartments are secluded. So there's no sleeve that goes over them, stupid like this. This is much more in the traditional lightsaber sense. So this is the way a lot of the classics were built. So like from Master Replicas era, this is much closer to the way they designed them. So I mean, we have a screwdriver here if we need it, but it doesn't appear that we're going to. So we're going to pop open these Noma lights. This is Noma Advanced. Now, I mean, I'm not much for battery brands, but I guess we'll see how this goes. I was at Canadian Tire. I was very done with my trip to Canadian Tire because I'd already walked across the store with a battery, only to be told that batteries could only be bought where the batteries were picked up. So they had a back counter, and that's because there's paperwork involved. Because what you can do is they give you what's called a core charge. So it's like it's a $20 charge on top of your battery fee, and it's like a recycling fee. It's like almost like what you pay for a bottle deposit in Canada. So when you go buy your cans and bottles at the liquor store or whatever, when you first get them, before you've drained the drink, you can actually like, you pay like a 25-cent tax or a 10-cent tax, and then you get that money back in the end. So it's kind of the same as that. So for car batteries. I don't know how I ended up on car batteries when we're talking about lightsabers, but anyways. Okay, pop this bad boy on. Now, we'll have the last one in, which I don't think it's going to come with some activation sound, but sometimes they do. At least the the custom ones do. They all say, like, charging or power on. Okay, carriage is lit. So I'm actually really loving this one so far because I have not had to fight this thing at all. It has been batteries, it has been screw off, parts off, power piece out, batteries in, put it all back together. Okay, here's the saber. So there's little grooves inside that might be very hard to see. No, you can see them. And you have to line this up because as you see, it's got the same ones. You just line it up. Now, there's a triangular plastic piece on the inside that will actually prevent you from misaligning it, so it's actually kind of handy. This is another thing that really reminds me of the old days. Okay, so we'll screw that down. Okay, she ain't going to do nothing with it like this. But, like I said, these emitters are the emitter guards are closed, so let's pop those open. They just kind of spring up, you know, like that. Okay, so this is what I mean by a screw in on the blade, by the way. So we're going to put the blade in. Inside, you'll see, so let me find it. It's kind of hard to see, so I'm not going to bother showing you on camera, but there's grooves that the saber fits into. So what you're best to do is kind of like this. So just so you can see everything. I'm just going to put the emitter guard down because I keep activating it. Opens like a blooming onion. Okay. Okay, so you got it in. Gently. Do not force this, guys. I lean it on my shoulder. There's a groove right here that this plastic piece will go into. Now you need to make sure you're doing it from the right side. There are two distinct sizes of the grooves. They're both different sized. Okay, so we'll clip. It should just slide straight in. Now, just making sure it doesn't need me to lock it. There we go. So do not force this, because detaching the LEDs from the base on this will not be difficult. So be very careful when you're doing this. So okay, you hear that click? That's me dislodging it. So when I get it plugged in, push down with the hand that's holding the saber blade until you feel it go in more, and then turn it. If it does not turn, do not force it. As a guy who works with computers, as the same rules apply. If it doesn't turn when you try to open it, don't try and open it. Wait and find out what's stopping it. So then you just kind of slide the ring over the emitter right this, or you slide this the blade through the ring, and then whoop. I've hit that bulkhead like 45 times at least, just in the last 2 months. Not to mention the probably 35,000 times I've hit it the entire time I've lived here. Okay, so we're ready? All right, Miss Skywalker, show us what you got. Ooh. Okay, so we'll turn so you can actually see the actual ignition, because you saw the blade light up. So these are like NeoPixel blades, so these are a lot higher end than the standard ones. So it's a lot smoother. There's a lot more LEDs per inch. Okay, ready? Now it's like a banana yellow more so than... You can tell hers was built for one hand, because her grip is only big enough for one hand. Now see, I don't like that. I don't know if I like that, because I don't do one-hand battling. Like, you have to have the option. So like you can apply some power if you can get your hand on the bottom, but I mean, if you got big hands, it's not very nice. So one thing we like to do with these elite ones is a special lighting where there is no lighting. So we're going to turn off all our lovely lights here. My bird's going to hate me for this. Is it bedtime? It's not bedtime. Bedtime is not bedtime. Budgies are just looking at me in terror. Cockatiels are not in terror, and they want to fight me. Okay, so you can see we're kind of just getting all the lights turned off, and we'll kind of stand at a good angle so you can see what's going on. Man, hold on. Okay. One thing I always liked about, just like a factual thing from playing Fallen Order, is that you could use your lightsaber as a light. Like, you'd actually hold it above your head and it'd be a flashlight. Tried it at home once. It absolutely fucking works. So it's got a unique hum to it. Definitely one that's unique to her. Kind of exciting to see a yellow lightsaber in the wild, like in an official toy. They've been seen throughout the show, but you really haven't. You can obviously get one in your customs because you can tell them what color to make it. You can See it in the show. See it in Knights of the Old Republic for the games. But they never really did one like this. And also, you can actually see the light coming through where the crystal area is. I haven't seen any of these ones that apparently have crystals in them, but man, would I like to. They look cool. Those are usually third party, though. There's not a lot of like official ones that have that. I want to go to Galaxy's Edge so that I can actually do this, right? But anyways, this has been my Rey Skywalker lightsaber unboxing. So just to kind of recap, you know, we've got saber blade guard. We got our emitter guard here, sorry. We've got battery panel down here. The blade is much higher end LEDs, so it's all the way throughout. So you get a very smooth ignition. When you start it, you see it's almost like in the dark. I was like actually lighting a real lightsaber. And even as I'm holding it now, it actually almost looks real. And I always like that about cameras and putting these on there, is that they look very real. So we're going to pop the lights back on, and then I'm going to go over this bad boy with you in more detail. We'll remove the blade, and then we can actually go through the lightsaber hilt itself. So we kind of went over how it works and, you know, ignition, sound. Good sensitivity on the clash, by the way. It's not super loud. It's not obnoxiously loud, but it is loud enough for me to know what is going on. So let's power on some lights and go over the rest of the saber. You see? Works perfectly. Okay, so pop the blade off. So when it lifts away, set that down there. Again, do not force this part. You will regret it if you do, because replacement blades on these are probably not very cheap, knowing Hasbro. Okay. So, screw this guy back on here. Get some more lighting in here because currently our camera's trying to run in night mode and it doesn't look very good. Okay. All right. So, here we go. Now, you got the emitters here. These are cool. They just kind of spring. They're on a spring. So this is kind of like what it looks like a robot's butthole. I mean, I got nothing else. I think that's actually what it looks like. Anyways, so you close those so that it sits flat. It's a flat top lightsaber. Then you pop them open when you take it off to put the blade in. I mean, you can also just use the blade to do it, but that may scratch up the blade housing. So, I mean, maybe not do that. Okay, so let's go into it. So this is based off of, now, if anybody is known as like seen the show, like have seen the movies, you know that she took her staff, this being the top of it, by the way, right? This is where the staff meets the rest of it. She takes that off and she turns that into a lightsaber hilt with her own crystal and everything. So you get, there's a belt clip right here. This is one of the first ones to come with a non-useless belt clip, by the way, because a lot of them come with the CoverTech wheel, which is cool if you have a CoverTech belt clip and a removable blade, but on these Black Series ones, they don't have a removable blade. So a lot of them don't anyways. So some of them kind of do. Like I guess Kit Fistos can be removed without that much difficulty. But anyways, so with this guy, it's got an actual clip you could actually potentially use if you really want to. It feels very sturdy. Doesn't feel flimsy. Like it feels very, very hard. Like the whole thing, this thing is very quality because it's very, very heavy. So your emitter switch is right here. It's probably gonna make a funny noise at me. Let's see if yeah, it makes an I can't start noise. So this is a sliding ring that you turn, power it on, yeah? And it kind of points out, Oh, it's still in. There we go. So you can actually see it lines up. There's a screw. Hang on, let me find it. Okay. Lines up right there. There's a little line and on this part that lines up with that, and that tells you that's the off position. And then you disconnect it by pushing to the right. Or sorry, you push it counterclockwise. Is it no, clockwise? I'm sorry, it's clockwise. You push it clockwise. And then there you go. You've got your new... Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about that. So you got a little emitter window right here. This is kind of cool. The handle is actual fabric. So you can see like the particles moving around and stuff. It is frayed and it does not look refined, which is kind of cool. I hope that maybe they release a refined one when the movie comes out, showing like, you know, she improved her design and everything. And then, you know, so there's the end of the staff, and then there's the hook. And then you go over here and you've got the wrapping. You got the power ring right here. And then you got your emitter right there. So overall, it's kind of got a painted kind of black rusty finish. There's like some in orange accents where metal meets. So it kind of like looks like they're intentionally making it look like rusty and stuff. So like it was made out of a old staff, for example. So it's pretty cool, and it has a lot of detail, especially like if you look at these, you can actually see they're pretty detailed. They're actually like grooved, and all of that's all textured and everything, and it almost looks like it's, you know, galvanized from the heat. Again, the problem I have with it is that it's meant to be held like this and doesn't give you much room for any other style except for any of the one-handed ones. So I mean, again, this is not a dueling saber, mind you, so I mean, that part's actually fine. But yeah, it looks great. It's a good-looking saber. And that grip with the wrap actually feels pretty comfortable. If you wanted to do a little bit of flourishing and work with it, you probably could. And fun story to tie in with the rest of this, and we're almost done, basically. I actually met somebody last night. I had driven my friend home. He came over to help me. Recently, my mom passed away, and I was actually working on processing some of her stuff. And unfortunately, I mean, that really sucks for me. Sucks for her, especially. She was kind of just getting her life back together, and I'm really sad that she never really got to see that happen. Sorry. It's still very fresh. It's like 4 weeks old. So it's like we're coming up on the 1 month anniversary as it is, and it feels like there's been like no time passed at all. It just feels like yesterday that I was told. So with these guys, they look really cool when you work on them at night. Like if you fire them up out in the yard and stuff, they look fantastic in the dark. And so I went for a drive after I drove my friend home, and I just kind of stopped. I was kind of doing a memory drive, so that's sometimes where I go to places that things in my life happened, or where I met somebody who may or may not be the worst person in my life that I've ever met, ever. And basically just make sure that you can, I can just enjoy some of those memories because they'll be more fresh. But it's where I met the person. But down the road, as I was getting ready to leave, I noticed the flashing of like a swinging blue blade, and I'm like, I know that. I know exactly what that is. So I popped over, and it was a young dude. He was younger than me, at least, wearing a 3 Days Grace hoodie at 4 a.m, swinging a lightsaber around. He had actually quite good form for someone who does... As somebody who's been working with swords since I was like 12, I was actually pretty impressed with his movements, but also like, you know, so we got talking, and, you know, it turns out he's quite the collector himself. And, you know, we were talking about the different sabers, the ones that I've got, ones that he's got. And it was actually really cool because he was running an Anakin, an original Anakin one, which is the first one that I ever had. He had a Darth Vader and an Anakin with him, and he was doing practice with both, and I thought it was super cool, because it's like, oh god, I'm not in this alone, like, I don't like just this stuff by itself, right? It was kind of cool to see just how connected you know, people that are into this are. Like, I literally was able to strike up a conversation with a total stranger just on the basis that we both like Star Wars. Let's bring stuff together. That's what it was meant for. It wasn't meant to tear people apart the way that it gets sometimes. Just let people like things. That's all I'm asking. Okay, so I wanted to show you the stand really quick before we tie this off, and then I can put it on the stand. We'll take a picture of it, probably. Probably not. So these are what the stands look like, as I showed you earlier. So her saber with the wider bottom and no belt clip goes like this. Okay, so that's it. It's going to look fantastic on my desk beside the other one. Anyways, that's been my unboxing of Rey Skywalker's lightsaber. I'm very excited to have this as part of the collection, and I was glad to show you guys what we got. So you can throw your likes, follows, subscribes in all the right places for me if you don't mind. Go to YouTube, Pydera Space 74. That's where you're watching this, and where we do all of our original content and Throwback Thursday stuff. And over on Twitch, where you can catch us live playing all kinds of new games. From Resident Evil 4 to Dead Island 2, or even Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I wasn't going to miss out on that one. Do you think I was going to miss out on that one? Are you crazy? Anyways, so that's that. Thank you for checking out the stream space. I'm Pydera. You can find me over on YouTube, Pydera Space 74, over on Twitch, Pydera_74. Get those likes, follows, subscribes in all the right places, and I will see you guys